こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、マイケルトークスフットボールチャンネルからの動画です。先日はデッドボールテレビチャンネルの方で、ジャックとマイケルが話している動画でしたが、今回はマイケルのチャンネルで、ワールドカップ予選のレビューをしている動画です。よく話がこれだけあるなと思うほどですが、まだまだ話し足りないという印象もあります。前回同様にワールドカップアジア最終予選の11月シリーズに対し、レビューしている動画ですが、今回もちょっと驚くようなデータも引き合いに出しながら話しています。個人的には結構衝撃的でしたが、皆さんはどのように感じるでしょうか。それではチェックしてみましょ
う。Group C, or should we just call this group of chaoticness or group of calamity, group of
catastrophe,
group of, I don't know what the hell is going on with this group. The only team I can have full confidence in is Japan because they got plus 20 goal difference is wild. I don't think I need to waste time. We kind of talked about Japan in your video. This team are just too good. I'll say this again. They will not be tested until they get to that World Cup or when they have friendlies heading into that World Cup. That's the only time where you can say, Japan, you're a top 10 team in the world. I think they have the potential to be it, but it's about proving it. They're not going to be tested in these qualifiers. It's simple as that. They're just too good.
They're way too good. I think one thing interesting I'll drop for your viewers about Japan is one of the concerns has always been the 9 position. I mean, literally blue lock, bro. Have you guys seen the anime? Blue lock is an anime because Japan have never had a striker, to the point where an animation studio decided to make an entire freaking show about the concept and about making a striker who can win Japan the World Cup. That's blue lock. Kind of an overrated anime. I digress. If we look at total shots in round 3 so far, where do you think Japan are out of 18 teams? Total shots.
Has to be number 1.
No. Uzbekistan is number 1.
Third?
They're 8th. 8th out of 18 teams. These guys have had more shots than Japan. Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Jordan, North Korea, Iran, Qatar, Uzbekistan. The difference between every single team I just said outside of Japan is Japan score on 30% of their shots.
That's crazy.
No other team. 30% of their shots is mental. Like that's
mental.
That's a ridiculous conversion rate. Every team above them, the only one that has a conversion rate even close is South Korea at 15%. So literally half of Japan. So these guys have become, maybe Group C stands for clinical. They become clinical gods in this round of qualifying. Everybody's scoring. Everybody's taking advantage of the opportunities. They're unbelievably patient. They got to make the semis of the World Cup, man. Like I'm sick of this, dude. They're so
semis.
Good.
Okay, we got to relax there.
They got to make the semis.
Just got to get to the quarters, please. Please get to the quarters.
Well, they got to. I mean, with Moriyasu in charge, they'll probably lose in pens in the round of 16.
Yeah, because they'll go too defensive after taking a 1-0 lead. But even if Ueda gets injured, Ogawa steps up in this round. Unbelievable. You know what's crazy? He has 9 appearances and 9 goals for the national team.
Really? Damn,
yeah,
that's quite the clip. That's quite the return.
Japan are just supremely dominant. And they even showed you, we don't even have to be a dominant possession team playing the tiki-taka, very Japanese style of football. No. We'll hit you from set pieces. And they did that once again. 3 crosses, and it was all golazos for Japan, and they just destroyed Indonesia away. It was not even a contest, in my opinion. Anybody who thought Indonesia were going to get a result was smoking crack. Honestly, you're not going to get a result.
There was a couple scares early, but that was...
There was a couple scares early, but
being terrible.
And then Suzuki turning into a machine nowadays. Gotta say, Suzuki, one of the biggest glow-ups this season, in my opinion. 100%. Compared to what we saw at the Asian Cup, I thought this guy was abysmal, but maybe this guy got a BBL, and now he's God. Maybe he's God mode. Yeah. Let's hopefully it continues for the World Cup. Which team do you have the most confidence getting second place in this group?
Australia.
Just because of past history?
Yes, because they always find a way to get it done. Whether it's the Intercontinental Playoff or like a must-win game in the last round of qualifying, they always do the bare minimum at the very end. And so I think, once again, they will do that. And I just don't trust Indonesians. Saudi Arabia, hell no. Bahrain, are Bahrain going to catch them? I don't think so. China? I mean, the fact that China's probably like 4th in my confidence meter says everything you need to know about Group C. It's insane. 2 wins. The only team with more than 1 win besides Japan in this group. It's crazy.
That is actually, and they're bottom of the group. That I've never seen that, to be honest. In qualifiers, let's just go team by team. Just go by negatives. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest issue for China? Is it just the goal scoring's not there, or is it that maybe they just had a horrible start and now their campaign is going? What's the biggest negative for them?
We can do these rapid fire. China defending set pieces.
Bahrain.
Hands down. Zero ability to control the game.
Saudi Arabia.
The worst attack in Asia.
Indonesia.
Incredibly reliant on counterattacking football. Can't really do anything else otherwise.
Australia.
The second worst attacking side in Asia.
Through 6 games, Australia, Indonesia, and China have 6 goals. Bahrain has 5 goals. Saudi Arabia has 3 goals. Like, there's not a lot of goals in this group, if we're going to be honest. It's all basically most of these goals are coming from mistakes. All the goals in the Bahrain Australia game were mistakes.
Calamity of errors.
Calamity of errors. Bahrain, China, basically a lucky bounce. Zhang is at 3 in the box. You could say it's a lucky goal there as well for China. Japan is the only team where you see like, oh my God, good football. You see good football sometimes from Iraq. You see some good football from Jordan, Iran, Uzbekistan. This group is not providing the good football. It's more just like, who's going to be the best of a bad bunch? I think Indonesia showed some positivity in their game against Saudi Arabia. It's just about, do you have the confidence in them replicating that performance for the next 4 games? Do you have that sort of confidence with Indonesia? More of like a flash in the pan, this performance against Saudi Arabia, and taking advantage of a poor Saudi Arabia?
I think Indonesia have the perfect team to play against Saudi Arabia. Like how I said, Kuwait and the nature of their defense is very good at kind of crippling Jordan. I think Saudi Arabia played completely into Indonesia's hand. You're going to play a high line against Ragnar and Marcelino, who just ran Saudi Arabia the entire game to great effects. Definitely could have scored more than 2 goals. And Saudi Arabia's attack, without Salem Al-Dasari, there is nothing centrally in this team whatsoever. And so Saudi Arabia, and this is quite embarrassing. I feel like the Australian FA and the Saudi FA should be ashamed. And honestly, if they have any scouts or something, they should probably be sacked, because Indonesia are incredibly good at defending crosses. Guys like Itzis in the box, they're very strong one-on-one out wide. Guys like Verdonk, probably in qualifying best 11 so far at the left back position. No exaggeration there. He's been a freak. When you're a team like Saudi Arabia or Australia and your entire game plan is levy in the ball, trebuchet in the ball, catapulted in from out wide over and over again, you're playing into Indonesia's hand. And that's exactly what Saudi Arabia did. I mean, it was very naive from Renard and a complete fumble on his part.
He should have just watched the Japan game. All Japan did was just tack down the middle. Just 1-2 combination plays. That's it. Very simple.
Yes, and be calm. Japan, they wait. Morita, he'll collect the ball. He'll put his foot on it, and he'll literally just look. He'll just look, and he'll just stand on the ball for a full 2-3 seconds. Then he'll pass it to Endo, and he'll give it right back. And it goes again and again, and they're just waiting for somebody to be weak on a rotation, and then boom, diagonal ball in.
I think Indonesia, I wonder how they're going to respond after this. Because their next 4 games, let's just say this, right? Let's say they get a point against Australia. Good. That's fantastic. Their next 2 games are Bahrain and China at home. I think those are both winnable. They want to get revenge on Bahrain for what happened.
And China.
And China, to be fair, actually. But more Bahrain because of 96 minutes, because they're going to keep going on and on about it. I think if Indonesia get a point against Australia, I think they have a really good chance of finishing top 3, which is crazy to say. If they can just be defensively solid as they were. Now, maybe teams will figure out if you just play down the middle against this side. Let's see if Hay is very good defensively as a midfielder. I think he's a very good player on the ball. Defensively off the ball, he's not fantastic. With the win, now you got the momentum. Obviously, now it's a 5-month break, so that's going to hurt Indonesia, in my honest opinion. But I think they can use that to their benefit. A team that need a break and need a whole year, probably 10 years for a break, is Saudi Arabia, because They look god awful. Everybody, Federation, you can name it. Mancini was blamed. Oh, this guy's a fraud. Now he's just in Italy, maybe in Rimini or somewhere, having an espresso, having a wonderful pasta, and just laughing his ass off. Because he's like, trying to tell you people, you can tell me what to do. You can tell me to start this guy. You can tell me to start that guy. It ain't working out. They don't have the quality. 4 straight games without a goal. This team
should never
have hit rock bottom. Or could it get worse?
Yeah. Could it get worse? Yes, they could finish 5th or 6th. That's the only way. It gets worse. I mean, they got what? China home next game?
China home, Japan away, Bahrain away, Australia at home. Oh my God, that's the gauntlet of 4 games right there. Holy crap.
That's the one, though. You get a draw at China at home, go scoreless again, you've hit rock bottom.
I don't think it will recover from that. If they can get a 3-0 win at home against China, then their campaign is back. Because they're not getting anything away from Japan. I'll tell you that right now. They're not getting anything away there. And then with their final 2 games being Bahrain away, Australia at home, like that's not even guaranteed W's there.
They have one kind of guaranteed W, and that's China. And China have, under Ivankovic, have really kind of leveled up their counterattacking play. A lot of young guys now, they run at you hard. They foul the shit out of you. And Saudi Arabia struggle with physicality, which is crazy. They used to be one of their strong suits. Now they're all twigs. Need to hit the weight room.
Yep, they do. They were just a physical team against Argentina, and that got them the win. Now, look, the attack is the attack, and we've talked a lot about it, but I got to say, defensively, they were shambles. All over the field. They didn't know how to deal with Indonesia. Just simple. It's not even just tiki-taka, 1-2 triangles, ball over the top. Again, and again, and again. They didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know, I don't know where the midfield was to track Marcelino's runs. It was an abysmal performance from Saudi Arabia. I feel like they were decent against Australia compared to what they have been. But the Indonesia game, it's like you had a little bit of a high and then you're back to rock bottom. Stage 1 again. You were at phase 5 like your Arteta at Arsenal, and now you're back to phase 1 where you're with the likes of Kolasinac and all these sort of players. I don't know where Saudi Arabia can get the momentum right now. It's not looking great.
次は解説です。今回は解説する単語や表現が少し多めでしたが、現代では使わない武器や防具などを比喩的に使っているものもありましたし、あまり日常的に使われないかもしれないものも含まれていました。なかなか使いこなせないかもしれませんが、またどこかで聞くことがあるかもしれませんので、その時はこの解説が思い出されるようになっていれば本望です。それでは解説を見てみましょう。
Group of calamity.
カラミティは大災害や悲惨な出来事を意味します。自然災害や経済危機など深刻で広範囲に影響を及ぼす出来事に使われます。また、日常的な困難や失敗を誇張して表現する場合にも使われ、劇的なニュアンスが含まれます。
Group of calamity. Group of calamity. Group of
catastrophe. Yeah.
Catastrophe.
カタストロフィーも大災害、大惨事を意味します。自然災害や戦争など、非常に破壊的で予期せぬ悪い出来事を指し、計画の大失敗や悲劇的な結末にも使われます。特に深刻で突然の変化を強調し、文学や演劇では、破滅的な結末を表す専門用語としても使われます。
Group of
catastrophe. Yeah.
Catastrophe. Group of
catastrophe. Yeah.
Catastrophe.
I digress.
ダイグレスは話がそれる本題から脱線するという意味で話や議論の途中で関係のない話題に移る際に使われます。主に正式な文脈や文章で用いられますが、口語でも使われることがあります。
I digress. I digress. They become clinical gods in this round of qualifying.
クリニカルとは冷静で正確、効率的な様子を指す言葉です。医学的には臨床の診療に関するという意味で使われ、スポーツでは決定力がある無駄のないプレーを称賛する際にも用いられます。冷淡な感情がないといったネガティブなニュアンスを伴うこともあります。
They become clinical gods in this round of qualifying. They become clinical gods in this round of qualifying.
Japan are just supremely dominant.
シュプリムリーは非常に極めてこの上なくという意味の副詞で、形容詞シュプリームの副詞形で何かが最上級のレベルにあることを強調します。ポジティブな文脈で使われることが多く、能力が優れているや極端に素晴らしいことを表現します。また、 特定の性質が他を圧倒する際にも用いられます。
Japan are just supremely dominant, and Japan are just supremely dominant with smoking crack.
スモーキングクラックは、クラック、コカインを吸うという直訳的な意味を持つスラングです。比喩的には、頭がおかしい、現実離れした考えを持っている、といった揶揄の表現として使われ、そんなことを本気で言ってるのと驚いたり批判したりする際に用いられます。軽いジョークや挑発的なニュアンスを含むため、カジュアルな会話で使われるのが一般的です。
Was smoking crack. Was smoking crack.
They always do the bare minimum at the very end.
ベアミニマムは必要最低限のギリギリのという意味の表現です。ミニマムが単に最小限を意味するのに対し、ベアを加えることで余計なものが一切ないというニュアンスが強調されます。この表現は最低限の基準や条件をかろうじて満たす状況を表現します。また、やる気のなさや努力不足を批判的に指摘する際にも使われることがあります。
They always do the bare minimum at the very end. They always do the bare minimum at the very end. We can do this rapid fire.
ラピッドファイヤーは短時間で次々と行われるという意味を持つ表現です。もともとは短時間で連続的に発射できる速射砲から来た言葉で、素早く連続する行動や発言を比喩的に表します。討論や質疑応答、スポーツのプレーなど、テンポの速さを強調する際に使われ、軽快でエネルギッシュなニュアンスを含むため、ポジティブな文脈でよく用いられます。
We can do this rapid fire. We can do this rapid fire.
More of like a flash in the pan. This
アフラッシュインザパンは、一時的な成功や短期間だけ注目される現象を指します。語源は火縄銃を意味するパンの火薬が一瞬だけ発火し、弾が発射されない状況に由来し、期待外れや持続性のない成果を批判的に表現する際に使われます。特にビジネスやエンターテインメントで一発屋などを指す場合に用いられることが多いです。
more of like a flash in the pan. More of like a flash in the pan. This
He's very good at kind of crippling Jordan.
クリップル D は動きを制限する。機能を損なうという意味を持つ言葉で、本来は身体的な障害を指し、例えば手足が不自由な状態を表します。そこから派生して、比喩的に計画や組織、経済などの機能を麻痺させることにも使われますが、現代では身体的な意味で使うと差別的とされる場合があるため注意が必要です。
Is very good at kind of crippling Jordan. Is very good at kind of crippling Jordan. Trebuchet in the ball.
トラビューシェットは写真のような中世ヨーロッパで使用された大型の投石機です。重りを使ったこの原理で石や火のついたものを遠くへ投げる仕組みを持ち、歴史や軍事の文脈で登場するほか、現代ではゲームや映画でもよく描かれます。ここでは遠くにボールを蹴ることを指しています。
Trebuchet in the ball. Trebuchet in the ball. Catapulted in from out wide over and over again.
キャタプルトフは写真のような Y 字パチンコのことで、この言葉ももともと投石機を意味し、何かを勢いよく遠くに放つ動作を指します。動詞として使う場合、力強く投げるまたは弧を描くように飛ばすという比喩的な意味で用いられ、文脈によっては、スポーツでボールを高く遠くに送り込む戦術を描写する際に使われます。
Catapulted in from out wide over and over again. Catapulted in from out wide over and over again.
yeah, that's the gauntlet of 4 games right there.
ガントレットは試練、難関、長手袋という複数の意味を持つ単語です。もともとは写真のような中世の騎士が着用した防具の一部である長手袋を指しますが、処罰として兵士の列を走り抜けて撃たれるという行為を指していたことから、試練や困難な状況を表す比喩的な意味としても使われ、現代ではスポーツや仕事での困難な挑戦や連戦などを指すこともあります。
God, that's the gauntlet of 4 games right there. God, that's the gauntlet of 4 games right there.
Now they're all twigs.
ツイグは木の小枝を指す単語で、細くて壊れやすいものを表します。比喩的に細くて弱々しい人やものを描写する際にも使われ、細さや弱さをユーモラスまたは侮蔑的に表現する場合にも用いられます。
Now they're all twigs. Now they're all twigs.
いかがでしたか？ワールドカップアジア最終予選において、現在の22得点はもちろんダントツでトップですが、シュート数が18チーム中8番目だというのは衝撃的ではなかったでしょうか。シュート成功率の 30% も衝撃的ですし、過去には決定力不足と言われてきた時代が何十年もあり、最近はもう言われなくはなっていましたが、 むしろ世界的にもかなり決定力が高いと言えてしまうのかもしれません。本当はヨーロッパや南米のチームとの試合が見たくて仕方がありませんが、アジアの戦いではまた多くのゴールを決め続けてくれることを楽しみにして、また3月を待ちたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。